Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. I think when I switch over to the webcam one, I bet you I forgot to change it. Oh, I didn't forget to change it. I just need to fix it. 1 second though. Let's change it from there. Paste that. And now pop that. There we go. Okay. Well, hello. I've not streamed in a while. I'm doing this mainly because whenever I start a game series, I tend not to like to finish streaming it. I prefer playing games casually. However, because I've been playing this game a lot lately, I'd quite like to play it a bit more on and because I've been playing a lot, I might as well stream it. You know. Also, Alexa, turn my lamp on.
Okay.
There, now we have some light. Cool. So I'm gonna switch over to here because we got it. It's the game. So I'm gonna close down my. There we go. I'm gonna close my OBS because otherwise I'm gonna be constantly looking at that. But yes, so I am not the best chess player. I am honestly pretty shit, but I've been practicing and getting a bit better. I have access to all the bots, and I think it would be quite fun just to casually play a game and just go through and try and beat them all. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to, but let's take a look-see here. So, I'm able to show you what I've done so far. All the ones that have little crowns next to them are the ones I've already done, and I'm sort of basically making my way through them. So, we'll be starting with these ones and then working our way down. So, these ones are obviously not difficult, and then the further down you go, the more difficult they get, with the ones at the top being ranged difficulty. That varies from beginner all the way up to like master, but they're adaptive, so they can get easier or harder depending on what is required. So yeah, but that is the goal. So we will start off with Zara, and we will. We should be able to get through all of these easily today. But yes, so let's do this. So we'll always be doing challenge, and we'll always do it random as well. We'll just see how it goes. So let's see what we can do here. That is interesting. All right. Yeah, I'll go for a strong development like this. Ah, interesting. Okay. I'll develop to attack and defend then. Even more interesting. Okay. So currently, so I could I take that pawn with no downside? I don't want to go too aggressive too early, but if I take this pawn, nothing can get me, I don't think. But it's a risky play, because I would gain material early in the game, and I would get an aggressive position, but that horse will probably be forced to retreat at some point, whereas currently I'm protecting this pawn, so I might as well start developing a bit more. So instead I'll pull my bishop out, I'll pull my bishop out and get a bit more of an aggressive position on the f7 pawn instead, which gives me a good line of sight also towards the knight too. So I'll pull this out here, and then I can castle on the next turn. The horse has come out, the horse is attacking this pawn, so I will need to defend it, so I'll pull my horse out here to defend it. That's interesting, they've just given up their right to castle, so I will use mine. That's an early pull out for the queen. I notice as well the king's getting quite smothered here. If I take this pawn, by the way, this protects it, and then I might be able to take the knight on my next turn. Alright, I'll take the knight. And I'm also threatening the queen. The queen is now coming for my knight, even though it's completely pointless because it's protected. So I would rather... Because if I move my knight, obviously it can... Because if it takes the knight, it's not going to take it because my bishop can take it. So that would be a completely pointless thing to do. So there's no point in moving this yet. Because if I move it to here, like, obviously the pawns can take it, but there's no point in doing that yet when I can start being aggressive with the pawns, because I want to make a pawn chain anyway. So what might be a better move is moving a pawn... I'm trying to go for. I think I'll probably move this one up, because then this is protected by the rook. As well as that as well, then I can push it up a bit further and get a pawn chain going in this direction. So I'll push it up like this. There you go, the queen had to move, which means that now if they take this pawn, then my rook can take it. Obviously the pawn is now pinned, but that doesn't really matter because the pawn's protected as well. So that's good. That is good. I also notice as well this queen can have a nice big line of sight here if I move you, but you obviously have to move closer to the queen, which could bait. Which it's not, again, it's not going to take it because the pawn will take it. It's no point. Let's see. So I think what we'll do is I'll actually move this to here to get some opening space, and then move this over to here. Try and keep it a bit safe. Yeah, so wasting some time there. Obviously my queen no longer has a big line of sight, but I can move this and get another revealed attack if I want later on. But this can now easily be moved to here. Obviously, like I say, this is protecting this, so I don't need to move it for now. But I can pull this over to here, which protects, not that, it protects the... Oh, okay, that's why I should have left that there, because it was protecting that. Okay, yeah, that's something worth noting. So I'll push this pawn up again attacking it, getting a pawn chain going. It's pushing on my queen, still protecting this, as well as this, this protecting this. So I'll also push this a bit further to get a good pawn chain. Okay, this is probably going to come into here, I think, maybe, or it's going to come down to here. Either one of them are things I don't really want, so what I'll do is I'll push my bishop up here to attack it. There you go. Just immediate backing out. Can I punish it further? It doesn't look like it. Alright, what to do now? So what I could do is I could start putting some pressure on that pawn there, which means I could start threatening that knight. But what would be better is putting pressure on this. I'm putting pressure on this e file here with my rook, with having the queen protect it. I can punish that move for sure. I can. Probably won't be the best idea though, because there's a pawn here and here that are protecting those spaces. But I could push a pawn up here, which is protected by my knight, to punish it. There you go. Now I have to retreat, so I got a tempo on it, which is good. Yeah, annoyingly, I always lose my light square bishop very early on, and then I can never get the fucking king. So, currently I think my best course of action is to try and move, get this pawn chain up a little higher, because I've currently got 3 pawn islands, 1, 2, and 3. This one is obviously protecting the king. I could try and pull my rook out a little bit, which keeps it on this one here, but then also puts protection on this knight here, which means I can move this to something else. But there's not really any good hanging pieces at the minute to go for, so it's basically just going to be development at this point. Because if I move my bishop up to here, this will obviously take it. So what I ideally want to do is to get a protector on this space here. So protecting the space here, I need a horse like here, which I can get there, but obviously it puts it in danger, so it's not a great idea. Again, I could come over here as well, but there's really no point. So realistically, the best thing to do, I think, is to just do like a simple. Oh, I could move my queen here and put some pressure on this pawn here, and then I also gain that entire diagonal to the queen, while still being able to protect this piece and this piece. So the only difference is I won't be able to protect this piece, but currently the only way they can attack that piece is by going here. So, or here, I suppose. But no, they couldn't go here because this piece is protected by this one, here. So they could only go here to attack this piece here. And even then I could just move it forward 1. So I can just put it here and be pretty safe in that bet. That's interesting. That is interesting, because now there's no benefit to going here at all, because now I'm being attacked from 2 ends. Or I'm being attacked from 2 ends, I'm not gaining anything. But this is an interesting move, because if it moves forward again, then I could try pushing my queen up to here, and then the horse takes that, then the rook takes it, and I can take that. Yeah, so it'll prevent it from moving forward. I won't be able to take the bishop anymore, but there's nothing actively threatening it. But oh no, the horse is protecting it. Alright, they've pushed up for my knight here. That's basically to obviously say like, oh, so take, take. So there's, again, not much point up to that push, but I can always push my bishop up slightly just to protect it. Because this diagonal here is a nice one to have, so I will push my bishop up to here. Obviously my queen's now... There you go, the queen's retreated. So there is really no point... Oh, no, I should move it, because there's no benefit to keeping it there. I can only retreat it. That sucks. I can move this horse to here now, which is a good thing to note. But I need to move this out of the way, because obviously there's a lot of stuff in the way, and I don't want to get attacked. Obviously, I move my horse to here, and then they move this here. I could get a check, but realistically, if I moved it here, they would take with this pawn. And also not to mention that there's a horse protecting that space, so retreating the horse is the best option, I think. Alright, so that's moved out now. This pawn is now pinned to this rook from my bishop. So, yeah, if my queen was behind this, like over here or something, I could have a two-pronged attack on this, which means I could end up going straight for it. Actually, if I could attack that rook, that'd be really good, because I could gain that rook, and I could also gain that through a diagonal, and this bishop couldn't protect it. Not to mention that it's also stuck, because it can't move anywhere, so the queen couldn't even protect the knight. That would be a really nice attack to make. But although, if I went for this, this bishop would probably also come for me, so there's no point in that either. But I will, I think, move my horse either to here or here. Going to either of these would be good. Going here specifically, I think, is best. Not only because it keeps me off the edge, but it also stops the rook from moving to this space, which means it would have to move here if it wanted to move forward. But it also protects. It also stops this pawn here, which, if I was able to take that with protection. So, like, if I could move my queen to here, after moving here, I could fork the... Oh, a minute. So if I move from here to here, and I move my queen here, what I could do is I could move my horse... Sorry. On my next move, I'm going to move my horse here. And then I move my queen here, and then if I move my horse here on the next turn, I can take either the queen or the rook on the next turn, because the king could obviously take me, but the king couldn't take me, because the queen would be protecting it. So that means that one of these two would have to move, and realistically it would be the queen that moves. The queen would probably move this way. And also the thing is, since my queen is here, the queen can not easily get to me. So the queen would have to move to protect itself, but it would have to move to either one of these two spaces. Neither of which help it particularly. Because obviously if they go here, my horse will just come over here, and grab that rook. So I'm going to move my horse here and see what they do next. Okay, that does absolutely nothing for me. Obviously, this... So what I am going to do, I'm going to delay my plans. I'm going to push a pawn forward, which gives my king an escape route as well. That has now just stopped that pawn from being able to move forward, so I'll move my queen to here, which is obviously now looking at this pawn, because now they're both... Ah, that takes down my two-pronged attack now, because now I can't target them both. I could still absolutely go for an attack on the rook, which will force it forwards. But there's not much benefit to it, because I'm not going to be able to gain both pieces, because I can't guarantee I'm going to get a piece. So what might be better is if I move this up to here, because then what I could do is if I move my bishop up to here with the queen protecting it, I could either get the queen or the rook on the next turn, because the queen would either take the bishop, in which case I obviously take it, or what it could do is it could retreat, meaning I get the rook on the next turn, and I get that protection I wanted before. So this is actually what's called a skewer, going for this here, so that's a very decent... Ah, I forgot about that fucker. Ah, shit, that's bad. I completely forgot about him. Arrgh, I forgot about him. Oh, that was so annoying. Oh, that's really fucking irritating, and now he's got a direct fucking sight to my king. Ah! Okay, I'm going to pull my rook out to here as well to have protection, obviously, on the queen. And now the bishop's gone in here because now this is a nice little place to retreat to. But obviously, it can't do a whole lot here because it can only really move to here safely. If it were to move to here, I'd obviously just take it instantly, or with this. So moving this out would actually be a good idea. If I move it to here, can I go anywhere useful from here? So if I went here, I could go here, 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 or here. This is an interesting spot to go to, because if I managed to get it to here, I could look at that rook with my queen protecting it, which means this queen wouldn't be able to take it. All of the spaces besides this one down here are safe, because if I went to here I would be able to obviously take this pawn and the rook would take me, so there's no point. But what I will do is I will go here and I'll try and force something on that rook. That's now almost obviously, that rook is now obviously looking at my knight here. The best thing to do probably be to, pushing a pawn up here would be a bad idea. I want to try and keep these pawns here to protect my king, because if I open this up I'll have a very obvious like weak spot. Best thing to do I think would be push a pawn up, which means that now the queen's protecting this. Now the queen will obviously be overworked at this point because I'm protecting both the rook, the thingy and the thingy. But pushing the pawn up as well will also give me an opportunity to push a rook up here as well. But yeah, so that's irritating. But yeah, I'll push a pawn up, and either one of these can take it. It's also if one of these takes it, then that's fine, I think. No, I'm not going to trade rooks for it, but yeah. So pushing this up, let's see what they do. Yeah, that was to be expected. But now they've also got my queen right here. But what I can now do is I can take this with a knight right here, obviously. I don't want to retreat my queen, so instead I'm going to take this with a knight. Oh, this is the knight I was going to force the rook with. Pushing with a rook might be the only option. Because if I take this here and then they take that there... Because if they do end up taking that knight, what will end up happening is I'll take with my rook, which will put it in check. So they'll have to take it again. And then I can take with my queen and put it in check again. Oh, there's a bishop looking at it. Fuck! That's annoying. Okay, I'll have to move to here, I think, realistically. It still protects both these pieces, but it keeps it out of the danger zone. Okay, that rook retreated. Okay, so there's no point in doing this plan anymore. If I move this out of the way and move it over to like here or something, which will also be protecting this horse, so now I can move this queen freely. I'll have an open D file here, so I'm gonna move it down to here. I just realized I probably should have OBS open in case of chat, but okay, there we go. But yeah, so oh, no, can I pop out the chat function actually, so I don't have to just constantly look at it? I don't think I can. Yeah. No, I can't. I need classic OBS for that. Okay, whatever. But yeah, so, the horse just moved there, which is now looking obviously directly at my queen. But my queen is now no longer pinned, so I can move it somewhere. Where's a good place to move it? Moving it here would be a good... So what I could do is offer a trade of queens. If I go here, I'm looking directly at the queen, and the horse is protecting me. The only downside then is that if I do take the trade of queens, the horse is now no longer protecting this. So that might not be a best idea. Well, no, because then I can take it with a rook instead. No, I can take it with a rook instead, just straight up to there. But also the horse is looking at that space as well still, so that's still not a great idea. So, because again, this pawn is looking directly at me. Fuck. But again, the queen doesn't need to move anymore, because the queen doesn't need to protect these pieces anymore. If anything, I could go do a fucking goofy move and go straight to here and put pressure on this bishop because it's a hanging piece, and then it'll have to retreat. And then it gets me out of danger as well. There you go, that was a big retreat. It went straight back to its starting position. That's fucking big, that is. Alright, so, if I wanted to try and get rid of the defense, I need to go for this piece, which I can do with my horse. Shut up, phone. I need to turn off those notifications. Or at least just mute them for now. Stop. So I need to... Because currently that is the weakness in the defense. Once I do that, the pawn defense crumbles. If I take down that piece, I can then push forward with a rook and go straight for a very aggressive attack. Because also this pawn is protected as well, by the way, by the queen. But there's a lot of things to weigh up here. Because this rook is a big pain in my ass right now. Ideally, what I want to do is push a pawn up to here to put some pressure on it, so that it either takes it, or it... So what I'm going to do is pushing my rook up to here, and then pushing that pawn up. Which then means that that rook will either have to retreat or commit to taking this horse. Nothing is currently looking at this space, so I also gain it also means I also gain a horizontal advantage here by moving my rook up. So I will do exactly that. The only downside is my king gets slightly less protected. The queen just retreated. Interesting choice. because now this boy is unprotected. So if I did a really aggressive play and went straight for this... Oh, no, it's not unprotected, there's a pawn there. But even so, if I did an aggressive play and went straight for the king, that'd be an interesting idea. But I'm gonna now... I could also do a trade of rooks here by going here and threatening the rook and then having a knight protect me. But realistically, pushing a pawn up is the best idea here, and I can take that afterwards. Oh, no, en passant! No, I completely forgot about that! Oh, you fucker! I forgot about en passant! Okay, that's really annoying. Okay, but I can take that pawn. Can I not take that pawn? Hello? Am I not allowed to do this? Well, oh, because the queen puts me in check. Okay. Alright, fine, you dickwad. Alright, what will I do now? So, I really do want to do this aggressive rook play, which can offer a trade of rooks. Although I'm down to 2 pieces, so I don't want to do that. But what I need to do is block this. I need to stop this from happening. So instead I'm going to push forward with this, because they're probably going to take this pawn. Yeah, I knew they were going to take the pawn. The space here is protected by both my rook and my queen, so they're not going to promote. But that queen is annoying, though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to push forward my knight and threaten this knight here and offer and threaten a possible trade. No, actually, again, this rook, I need to get rid of it. What to do? I need to get my queen out, ideally. But I can't get it in a good position to tackle this. It would need to be, like, here. Is the only place I can tackle the rook from, outside of using a horse. Okay. So, what to do here? My horse, I can't move this, because this is protecting this. This I could theoretically move and do a really aggressive play with. If I went and took this down, I could do some really aggressive shit. But I would obviously be losing more material, which is not ideal. The only way that would be a plausible option is if I had something protecting it, which I won't. I also noticed this, again, has this open file here, which is just... It's just owning. Ideally, what I could have done, I could have removed my rook here to protect this, so I could have taken this straight afterwards, but I didn't do that. Because I'm an idiot. But I do want this gone, so I might move that there just so I can take this with my king on my next turn. Not in that, but it won't be protected by that. It'll also be protected by my queen here. Which means that this queen is obviously going to not take it. Neither will this horse, because it's 2 defenders. But yeah, so I want to get rid of this pawn. So I will move this to here, I think, whilst also still threatening shit over here. That's an aggressive move. I wasn't... Okay. If I also could get my queen up to here, I could do a 3-pronged attack on this king, which means that when this takes it, I can just take it with something else and go for it. But obviously this is... But I can take this now, which is good. Interesting. So what I'm probably going to do now is obviously move my king to safety. I want to get him out of there. I'm actually going to use this king to start attacking the rook, if possible. Yeah, the rook's up. Yep, there we go. That was enough. The rook is now... The rook is in a hanging position. I can take it with my knight. Oh, yes! Fucking mine. Okay, so that rook is now gone. That's good. That is fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to push up and threaten the knight and possibly try and get it to move. And if I manage to do that, then I can push all the way up with my rook. If it doesn't move, then I'll push my queen up. Sorry, stop. So I'll push up with... Okay, no, also that's not a good idea, actually, because the bishop's looking at there. That's not a valid option, really. So I would probably need to... What can I do here? So ideally what I would probably want to do is push this up to here, because also then the bishop can't take it. And then push my queen along to here, and then have all 3 of them push up at once. So I think I shall do that. I will push my rook up to here. The queen is just sort of dancing around over here. I'll move my queen to here, so now they're all looking on this d-file. They pulled their rook out, which is actually a bad move, because that means that if I were to take this now, there's nothing protecting it. So if I now coordinate my attack here, and also want to point out that the king can't move here. So if I do end up pushing up with my queen here, if I push up my queen with my second attack, this could have been checkmate. Fuck. Well, no, the queen's protecting the space now, actually. That's really irritating. Okay, so this queen needs to move, or this needs to go. One of them two needs to happen. Okay. I'll start pushing this up here. Should I start doing that? Or is there a better move I can do? If I go over here, I can pressure the knight. I might even be able to, like, lure it out here. I'll happily trade that there, because, again, I'm up material, so I'll be able to trade... I'll happily lure it away so that I can push up with this. Because, again, the only thing protecting this space currently is these three, and I have 3 attackers. If I lured that away here, it would either be forced to attack it or to move. And I don't think there's any... Is there a place it can move to that it can still protect the king? Because this one's moves are here, here, here. Oh, not that one. Here, 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 here. It can go for my rook, which is a bad move. Yeah, so it can't really move anywhere to still protect the king, so I'll go with that attack there. The bishop backed off. Interesting. So yeah, I'll take this trade. This is a fair trade. That's fine. I don't know why the fuck they did that. That's a really bad move. So now the bishop's here, and obviously it's trying to stop me, but so what I can see, there's nothing that will stop me if I just take it. Okay. Again, it's not like this guy can move anywhere, so I will... it won't put it in check, though. But I'll happily still take it. It won't take anything. Yeah, that was going to go down. That was going to happen. No fucking surprise. This guy is not a passed pawn, so because this is still in the way. This could be a threat, so I will move this forward. Oh, wait, was that checkmate? Oh, shit, really? I didn't even fucking realize. Oh, what? I didn't realize that that was checkmate. Also, I'll only check the stream chat after a game, I think, because if you guys make suggestions, I would rather see it after the fact. Or, actually, no, maybe. But yeah, that was... Oh, really? How is that? Obviously, it can't move this way. Why? Oh, my pawn! Oh, I forgot about my pawn! Oh, shit! That's why it was so desperately trying to stop it, because it was going to be a checkmate. Oh, I see. Oh, I see now. I see. Okay, that makes sense. So, I obviously had a lot of mistakes that game. I wonder what they would be. Also, let me just check to see if this is framed correctly. Yeah, it's framed alright. Okay. So, what would have my blunders have been? Is it 12 blunders? And that's a lot of moves for me to make there. I wonder what they would have been. It wasn't my castle, which is good. Normally my castle is considered a mistake. So let's see here. So, we have... That's a lot less than 12 blunders. So that's my last book move. Makes sense. Why was this a mistake? I did consider doing that, actually, but I didn't see the merit in it. But then again, I guess I am immediately encroaching on their territory, so that makes sense. Why is that a mistake, then? The knight on is still apparently the best move. I guess to bait the queen out with this, but also it's the most powerful play you can make because the queen won't take this. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's a blunder? What did I do that move for? I think it was so like a push up, if I remember correctly, but what was it for? Hold on, what was there? What was there? Was that a take? No, it wasn't a take, no. So it was literally just a push. So obviously it opens up the bishop to come out, and I guess it stops the queen from taking this bishop, which I didn't... That was a mistake, because I didn't realize it was looking at my bishop. That is a blunder, apparently. Because obviously, yeah, I was looking at this huge line here. Why did I move it up there? Was there a reason? Oh, it was to protect my knight. Yeah, attacking the queen would have been a good move. Yeah, attacking the queen would have been a good move. Because obviously the queen can't take that because the rook's looking at it, which means the queen will have to be forced to retreat further, and then I can worry about protecting this. Because obviously, whether I move this pawn forward here or this bishop here, I lose this line. But after moving this to here, there's not much point. So then I could move it to there. Yeah, I can understand that. That's a mistake? That's protecting the sorry, that's protecting the queen. Why is that a mistake? Oh, that's aggressive. Yeah, because the king can't take that because of the horse. Oh, fuck. I can see that now. Yeah, yeah. That's an aggressive play. The only way they can do it is by moving their king and giving up their right to castle. Well, I mean, they gave it up in the next move. That's a missed... Oh, that's a mismate because, yeah, again, that's me pushing forward there, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. That's a blunder. Why would that be a blunder? Oh, just moving it backwards. Yeah, still keeping that line of sight there, and then also now threatening that bishop, which is unprotected. Yeah, okay, I can see that. That's a missed win? Really? What would this have set up for? Next move, I guess you could have gone here, which means that the queen couldn't take it because it's protected by this queen here, and it could have... Oh, and it would have forked the bishop and the king. It would have put it in check, which would have meant that that king either would have had to move, which means you could take the bishop, or alternatively, the queen could take it, which means you take the queen. I see, yeah, I understand that. Move back here, this was going aggressive against the bishop. I wanted it out of my territory. What's the best thing to do then? Just retreating ever so slightly, I guess? Yeah, because I would still be protecting the knight there. But the ideal was... Well, initially it was because I wanted to also look at... Was it that one? I don't remember which square it was. I think it was that one. No, it wasn't. It wouldn't have been that one. It would have been this one here. But yeah, no, it would have been this one because I wanted to look at that rook square initially, but because then I still protect this, I'll protect this as well, and putting pressure on this. Yeah, I can see that. And I'm also, of course, have this entire line to myself. Hey! I did a critical move! Woo! A good thing I identified it. That is not a blunder, I'm attacking the fucking rook. What is... Okay, we're pulling the queen. Yeah, to be fair, that queen got stuck there for a while, so pulling it out here would have been a good idea. Putting some pressure onto this horse here, as well as onto this pawn, and supporting this pawn as well as protecting this. Yeah, I can understand that. Yep, horse is a good move, thank you very much. Yep, that meant that the king could not retreat this way. And also it took the rook as well. Missed win, really? Why would that have been a missed win? I guess... Yeah, why would that have been a missed win? Oh, because I could pull my queen out, maybe. Because then obviously, either what will happen is we'll get a trade of queens, or I get an aggressive queen play, which would have been a checkmate. Okay. That's... Why is that a missed win? What? Why that? That makes no sense. I can only think that it would be that you push this up and then move it to here, but then again, both the horse and the queen is looking at this. Maybe it's to pull the queen out here, I guess? Because then the rook would be protecting it, and then I could push it, and then I could go for this queen here, which is less protected, which means that the queen will either have to retreat or take. E5 is a missed win. Okay, so I move it from here to here. Oh, okay, it's not the same principle because the queen isn't here anymore, so it wouldn't have been able to go to here. So why would that be beneficial? Because obviously I'm protecting the knight, but the knight's not being threatened. I'm putting more pressure on this bishop, but the point is I wanted this to be here because all of these are protecting it, and whether or not this got taken by whatever piece it was, I would have a backup plan. There you go, taking that. And that is why I made that move, to threaten that knight. And there we go, we got checkmate. Interesting, interesting. Okay, very interesting. Alright, so that was a good game, I think. A GG, if you will. I think was a good one. So, let us take another look. Let's take a look who we're going at next. There we go, Santiago. There we go. Yeah, look who it is. It's Chile. I like Chile. I like Chile. It's a good country. Alright, okay, so, 1 second. Okay. Sweet. Alrighty. Okay, so we'll do Santiago next. And I'll probably be able to finish off this group of bots right here. Yeah, okay. I'm black this time, so they get opening move. Alright, they're going to open up with a that. I might open with a Queen's Gambit. Okay, so they're going with an aggressive play straight onto there, so that Queen's Gambit might not be a good move then. I'll push to protect instead. To go with the Roy Lopez. They're going with an aggressive, they want to pin this to my king. When I push this forward, I know exactly what this is for. Obviously they're not going to take it, they just want to pin it, so I can't really do a really aggressive play. I could go here and pin this pawn down, which means this queen can only move here. Ah, a castle. There we go. Interesting. They did a very early castle. Okay. I'm going to push this here and put pressure on this pawn. There you go. That's what I expected. But now I can castle myself. Okay, so that has now retreated, which means the pressure on this has lifted, which means there is no reason for this to be here, so I'll actually push forward with this, threatening this bishop. Wait, where's my king gone? Oh, yeah, he's over here. I forgot for a second that I castled. So now they're threatening my bishop, which means it would then become a bishop for a bishop trade. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to back... Why is there a knight? Oh, yeah, the knight retreated there, isn't it? I'm forgetting everything. So what I'm going to... Do I back up my bishop here? Because I've got a straight line of sight straight at this. So I'm going to back this up slightly here, just so I can keep this. On my next turn, I'm going to... And this guy is pretty much boxed in. So I'm going to take that bishop, because it looks free. It is, yes. So bishop's mine now. Okay, the king is really pushing himself into a corner there. If I could somehow get my queen to this position and have something protecting it, it would be fucked. How could I get something protecting it that quickly, though? So I would need to get a light squared bishop to look at this square. Or alternatively, is there a way to get my horse to here? If I could move my horse to here... If I could move my horse to here, and then get my queen to here, and then push here, I could have a checkmate really quickly. Okay, so I'll move to here to get out of the way and move my queen out to here and see what happens. Again, they're threatening my bishop. They're pushing it backwards. They really don't want me to have that line of sight. Oh, that sucks. Fuck. At least it wasn't my light square bishop. Okay, so I may have to go plan B on this one then. So what I can try and do is get a rook out to support it. And ideally this one would be best, but I would have to get it all the way around here in 3 moves, which is too much. How do I punish you? Well, I can punish you by pushing a pawn forward, but this is my castled side, so I really don't want to do that. I guess I could push this forward, which would give my king an escape route again, but again, I don't want to do that. What's the best way to punish it? I guess pushing a pawn forward is the best way to punish it. Getting a pawn chain is probably a good idea here, having a pawn chain defense. Obviously, something like a bishop could come straight through here and threaten my rook, or threaten my rook, or maybe my king, but as of right now, that's not really my main concern. If I got my queen to here, by the way, this bishop would immediately take me, so I need to be very careful and wary of that. This is my target right here, so I want to get something to support me in that regard. So moving this might be a good idea if I can possibly get it into a position where it can get to look at this space, which would probably be this one. Because this one is a bad idea because it would take it from there. So if I could somehow get myself to that position, so I could get to that position from here. To get to that position, I would need to take that. Not only that, oh, that also forks as well. Oh, moving there is actually a fantastic idea because it forks both the queen and the knight, and there's no easy way to take me. Actually, yeah, that's a fantastic move. I'm a fucking idiot. They have a knight. Oh, fuck. Why did I do that? I somehow didn't clock onto that. Urgh! Okay, whatever. Bad moves aside, it's fine. We'll push this forward and get a pawn chain going here. Okay, so now that guy's now that guy had to retreat. I can actually make one really long pawn chain here, actually. If I push this forward and try and get it to here, I could get a really strong pawn chain going. So if I get to here, I also get one here. Oh, you're being risky. So I could push my bishop to here, which could taunt this to come, which will then threaten this. Me taking the rook, which means the queen will, which means the knight will probably come and take it, which means I can take it, which means obviously the queen comes down, which means I don't have a way of taking the queen. So taking that is not a good idea until I have something like one more defender on that space. So if I were to push this forward, I could do that, but then it would break the pawn chain, which I don't want to do. So what I should idealistically do is try and push my queen to here, and then I have a direct line of sight there, so there you go. Okay, so I'll execute my plan here, push my bishop forward here, threaten the rook. Realistically, the horse will take it, take this, and then the queen will have to take that, which means I take that. They didn't give a shit. Okay, I'll take the rook, I suppose. So I get a free rook, and I've now got also line of sight all the way down here, protecting this pawn. So what is this bishop doing? It only moved one square, which implies it's going to go this way, but it won't because there's a pawn there, so realistically it would go this way, but why didn't it? But yeah, so ideally I want to take this pawn, but I don't want to double up pawns right now. Ugh, voice crack. I don't want to double up pawns, and I want to kind of push this forward if I can. Because if I push that forward, then I can gradually move this pawn chain forward. So I need this gone. And I don't have any horses left that can do it. So I'll need to use this light squared bishop to take it, which will take 3 moves, which is a lot. This is currently unprotected, but it would be protected very quickly if I were to do a plan like that. Whether I use the queen, no matter if I go this way, or if I use the bishop, it takes 3 moves for me to get to that pawn. Whereas if I take the pawn right now, obviously it would be 1 move, and it's a very real risk of it taking that and then ruining the pawn chain. And my king's exposed. So it's a risky play. The best thing to do would be ideally try and put pressure on stuff. So, and obviously I can't move my queen this way. Because I said I move my queen this way, but obviously this bishop would take it, so it's not a good idea. Going this way though, I put pressure on that bishop, but then obviously the pawn can take me. So ideally the bishop is the only real option. But going this way means I don't put pressure on anything. It's a difficult situation, so I'm gonna also even if I just move my bishop here, I can move the rook out, which is good. So we'll start by doing that. Great, the queen's coming out. The queen's now protecting this, which is to be expected. Now there's a protector on this piece. I will still move my bishop out to keep an eye on it, so that whenever this queen moves, I can just yoink it, because I think they can see what I'm doing. So I will pull this out to here. Okay, this rook is going. Why didn't my rook take the bishop? What the fuck? Yeah, I didn't see that the queen moving out put my bishop in danger, but why didn't they take it? Okay, I guess I will just move out to here and threaten this pawn instead. Oh, wait, no, actually, that's not the great idea. Actually, no, moving it here is fine, because then obviously the thing is... Oh, no, but then it... There's not really a safe space for it to go. This is the best place I can put it, where the knight's where the knight's threatening it, and then my pawn could take it there, but then it doubles up pawns on this aisle, and again it ruins the pawn chain that I'm trying to create here. But then what I could have done is if pawn moves forward, I could then move this over to here as well. So I'll leave this pawn as is and hope that it moves it forward. Oh, interesting! So that bishop's now retreated, so I can actually either retreat my bishop backwards or I can push it up to here. Currently up here there's no defense, and I'm actually starting to break down this pawn chain if I do. So I'm going to push up with it, keeping this bishop in their territory and keeping a lot of pressure on them. Now the queen's moved back, which means this pawn is now no longer protected, so I can now also push up and threaten that rook with my bishop. And then when I move my bishop, whether it is to take that rook or to retreat, I can start pushing pawns back up. Okay. I'm also threatening this right. What the fuck are they doing? I know they're an easy AI, but still, like, I can either take this knight here, which puts the king in check, but then it will immediately be taken, or I can take this rook, which has no defenders on it. And I'm going to do that. Okay, so this is obviously now retreated further, and it seems to be boxing it in for some reason. So that's bizarre. Obviously, nothing. I can take either of. Sorry, I can take this, and neither of these can take me. And obviously, this is protecting this, but currently they're smothering their king, which is not a great idea. Because if I were to pull my queen, wait, hold on. If I were to pull my queen to here, and then I was to pull the Let's Go bishop here into here, I would get a checkmate. But so I'll pull this bishop back. If I pull my bishop back here, again, move this to here and push forward. But the idea is to push the pawns forward. So do I go with the pawn defense, or do I go with the... I'll try and move my bishop back. Worst case scenario, I can start pushing this up. Okay, now that's looking right at this, but that's very well protected, so it's fine. I'll push this over to here and then up to here. Again, a silly move, because now if I go here and then push this forward to here, that should be a checkmate, because there's nothing that can take anything here. The king can't take it because the only defender is the king. So if I push this up to here, they're going to have to make action now. There we go. That's what I was expecting. So now we need to lure this out. So now that's pushed forward. I'm going to push a pawn forward. But I need to get this queen to move. The best way to get the queen to move would be to push a rook up, but all the rooks are protected, are like now behind the pawn line. So I need this queen to move, ideally. The queen could take this. I don't know why it hasn't already. But I will actually retreat this a smidgen, just to... I'll threaten this bishop. I'll happily do a trade of bishops. I'm up in material, and if the bishop takes it, then I can take it. Or the bishop can retreat. Either one works for me. They're no longer smothering their king. Okay, so I should probably abandon this line of... If I push up with this and threaten the king, the queen will have to take it. And I can do a... I don't want to do a queen trade, though. Okay. I won't push this up here, though, just to do a bit of pressure. Because the only thing I can take is the queen, and again, I have a protector on this. So I'll push it up a little bit. Okay, the bishop's getting a little bit antsy over there, but now what I can do is I can push my pawn up, which is still protecting the bishop, by the way. He's coming for my king. I can see him. Actually, no, I think he's going to come for my rook, realistically. So I want to shut that down very quickly, so I will push up forward one. Okay, they're opening up lines for their king to escape to, which is a good idea. It took them a while to do it, but I'm glad they are. So now what I can do is I can move my queen to a better position. Moving it to here would be ideal, because then I not only get a big line of sight over to here, but I also threaten this bishop as well as this pawn. Then it also allows this pawn to move forward, so we'll do that. Yeah, the bishop moved back, which is no surprise. I could easily take that bishop, nothing's protecting it, so I will. I thought they were going back much further than that. Now they want to try and take my pawn chain, but again, since I've got my queen out, I can just take it and not disrupt the chain. Or... No, I would say I could take this, and then the queen will be forced to take it, or the king will have to... The queen will be forced to take it, and then I can take it with my bishop. Actually, if I take it with my bishop now, and the queen takes it... No, because it won't be protected. There's no point. It has the same issue. So I'll leave that as is, but I will take that pawn, just to stop it threading my pawn chain. Oh, no! Wait, no. I'll happily take that. That messed up my pawn chain a bit, but that's fine. I'll take that. I somehow didn't spot that. I still have a major advantage. Okay, so we have two horses, two pawns, and a king against my just swath of stuff. So ideally, the best thing to do is to push a pawn up and get a queen. But I do have two rooks, so I could easily checkmate the king if I was able to get him out of this fucking corner. Or alternatively, I could push him into this corner because he can't move out of it because of this boy. and then I could simply just push a rook over. So what I could do is push a rook I could push one of my rooks around like this and up, but then the king's unprotected, and ideally this is probably going to come down here for it. So also just realized I moved that into the fucking horse line of sight. That was a bad idea. Okay, so I'm going to push this down here. He's run up into that corner, so I'm going to push a rook there so he can't come back. There you go, now he's dancing, so I'm going to push a rook around. Okay, that's a risky move. I don't really know why I did that. He's sacrificing pieces left and right now. Okay. Yeah, at this point, the pawn chain doesn't really matter too much. The king's kind of fucked. The king can obviously try and take one of these. I wouldn't recommend it, but he could try. He can't move here. My bishop's protecting it, so I will instead move... I don't want to stalemate, because he can move to here still. So I could just have him dance in between these two, realistically. If I had a pawn I could push up to here, I'd be able to get a checkmate, but... Okay, what I will do is I will move this to the left, because I want to get it down and ensure that it stays there. So I'll have it... So this will push it back up into that corner. There we go. And again, I don't want a stalemate. So what I'm going to do is push this down like this. I'll happily have him come out this way. Push him up like this. And then it'll have to be forced back and it should be checkmate. There we go. Got it. Whoop whoop! We got ourselves a lovely checkmate. Beautiful. Discord, could you please stop? Like, please? Fuck me. Okay, so, yeah, there we go. That was a nice checkmate. It might have been able to be done quicker, but I'm usually pretty stubborn when it comes to this sort of stuff. So let's see what we have here. We've got ourselves an interesting e4 opening, which I believe went into a... Oh yeah, there we go, a Roy Lopez opening. So they had a Roy Lopez opening, we did an Alpine defense. So, not a lot of moves to note, really. Only one blunder. That's good to see. There's my last book opening there, which is true. That was me following the book to the T there. That castle was a really good move. That's a missed win? Why? Could I have gone aggressive? Yeah, I could have gone aggressive. Why would that have been a good move, though? I would have obviously lost material, but then again, I guess they would... No, because I was sacrificed, Yeah, look what this does. This goes from being a balanced game to black is winning. No, I know I could have taken that, but then they would have taken me. I'm not gonna... That would have been a bad move. No, I disagree with that. That's a best move. Thank you very much. I don't remember if I took anything with that move. I did apparently take something with that move. I don't know what it was that I... Oh, I took the bishop. I took the bishop and I put pressure on the pawn. Yeah. This was my blunder move. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is me moving it to this... Oh, yeah, this is me moving this to the side so I can move the queen out. This was a really... I was contemplating this move quite a lot at the time. Yeah. So moving this back to the center and putting pressure again on, like, all these squares here is good. So, yeah, I should have moved that back. Yeah, I didn't realize... Because, again, I didn't realize the queen had a line of sight straight to this. So this was a mistake, apparently. I could certainly understand why. This was a pretty just safe harbor bet. Moving the bishop to here. Oh, moving the bishop to here puts pressure on that rook and that pawn, and there's not really an easy way to defend either. Because the bishop can't be taken here. I see, I see, I see, I see. The only real way to defend the pawn or the rook would have been to move the bishop out or move the rook. Mistake. There's a critical move here? I mean, yeah, this was a mistake because obviously the knight fucking took me. So, moving this pawn for... Oh, I see. I could break apart their pawn chain. So what could either happen is they take this, my bishop takes this, my bishop takes this, and then again I have a good line of sight and I can fork two things right here. And realistically they'd move that rook because it's high value and this is protected. But on top of that as well, if they chose not to take it, I could just take that and then take either one of these. And if I took this, then this would be then that would be pinned. They couldn't take it. Otherwise, I'd be able to just take my rook. So yeah, I can understand why it's a good move. here is best. Thank you very much. Yeah, just taking that rook and having a nice big line. Mistake. Well, okay, let's see what... You're moving it back. I think I moved that back on the next turn. No, I didn't. What? Oh, this is me moving the bishop out to try and protect this. Yeah, I see. Just not to try and attack. I don't want to break the pawn chain. Yeah, so then I move my bishop back. No, I moved my bishop forward here, and they want me to move the bishop back. I did move the bishop back. There we go. I moved it back when it was threatened. Big bit of just good trades, apparently. Missed win? Yes, I could have done that. It would have put pressure on that knight. Oh, and I could have just taken the knight. Oh, fuck! I could have just taken the knight, and the bishop it would have been pushed into this corner, and I could have probably... What could I have done from there? No, because it could have caused a stalemate if I wasn't careful. So what could I have done there, then? Or if I could have gotten rid of... Well, I would have been able to at least take the piece, if nothing else. Well, no, it would have been a mate in 4, apparently. Yeah, moving this down, yeah. I had a feeling something like that was there, I just didn't know what it was. It's a good move as one that forces it faster. Yeah, that's a mate in 1, because then it has to move backwards. Well, no, because it has to move here. Realistically, it... Oh, wait! It would either have to move... It couldn't move this way, but it couldn't... Sorry, it couldn't move this way, but it could move here. It couldn't move here either, or here. If it moved... Well, no, it couldn't move here either because of my pawn. So it had to move here. So when it moved here... Yeah, if it moved here, I could have just taken this here, and then it would have been checkmate, because this obviously is covering this square with the rook. Can't move here, can't move here. Yeah, that would have been checkmate. Yeah, fuck, I didn't see that. This is a mate in 1. How's that faster way than a mate in 1? Oh, it's checkmate right then and there. Yeah, okay. Because now I've got a pawn here. It can't move here. It can't move here. It can't move here or here. Yeah, that's a checkmate. Yeah, I was just playing it real safe. Oh yeah, because the pawn protects it. I didn't want to do that move because I thought it would just take it. But yeah, the pawns. I keep forgetting about pawns. Yeah, there you go, checkmate. Yeah, these are all just missed checkmates near the end. Yeah, I had a really good position, but I wanted to play it safe. Okay, so, okay, let's take a look. I think we should probably do at least one more. And we do it against our final beginner character, Karim. Okay, I think it's Karim. Yeah, it's Egypt. Interesting. So, we'll see what we get given. So we're a white. Will they meet it? Oh, a gambit. Interesting. A gambit move. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I will defend my white pawn. Okay, a Van Geet opening. Let's... Yeah, if I go aggressive here, I could take the knight and then put pressure on the king, which means a pawn will take me. And then what'll happen is nothing good. So I might as well just protect that knight then, surely. So if I move my bishop to here, it looks like I was developing on my queen side. I'm gonna use these as an aggressive attack. I could use these also for an attack. No, I'm gonna castle kingside. That's a very bizarre choice. Okay, I'm gonna start doing an aggressive move with this here. Why that? Currently can only go to here. What can that do? They all seem to focus on my queen right here, but they're all also protected by pawns if they go here. Not a whole lot of good... I mean, it controls the center, so it's not a bad choice, but I'll push a pawn forward here. Okay, it moved over here. So this is where I want to castle kingside, but I will push this up because this will also give me an escape route for my king. There you go. So now it had to retreat, and I gain a lot of tempos against it. Now look at this. All of these fuckers here haven't moved. The only thing that's moved is their rook one space and it's still trapped, and their knight. And look at all this progression I've made. So now what I can do though is castle. Should I castle or should I punish further? No, I'll castle. There's no point in further punishing them. There you go. That's a weird move considering they moved their rook and now they're still blocked. Alright, so this now looks a bit like a mess, but I trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. So if I push this... Oh wait, hold on, I just realised this is blocked. I should move this out of the way. There's not really a good place to move it to outside of here, so I'll push this pawn up first. It's coming to take this. I'll stop you. Again, it opens up the diagonal, but it's fine for now. So, what I will do is I will move this... I need to move this back, get this bishop out of the way, and push this pawn forward. And then I can push it forward in the next turn and attack that knight again. Okay, so I should realistically, again, fall back. Well, actually, I can move over to here and be protected by this pawn here. And attack this still, so I'll do that. And it could be a trade. He decided to move. Okay, that's good. So again, I could still push forward, and I'm going to push forward and put pressure on the knight. Oh, I could push forward to here and put him in check. Is there any way you can get out of that? What? 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 What the fuck? I could have checkmated him that entire time? No way! Oh my god, that was, I think, the fastest I've ever checkmated someone. What the f... Yeah, that gambit did not play off for them at all. Alright, so... Oh my god, yeah, the blunder was apparently over here in g3. And that was probably because it could have put... Oh, there's a missed checkmate right there. Wait, what? Maybe that was the only move I could actually get a checkmate on and I spotted it. There's my last book move. Again, this is a gambit move, so that makes sense. F3 is a mistake. Why is that? Taking the... I don't want to trade knights that early on in the game when they're this underdeveloped. That's not a mistake. I'm putting pressure on the knight. Oh, because it was... Oh, because it could have taken the bishop and it was unprotected. Oh, I see. That was a mistake. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. It ended up paying off in the end, though. But, yeah, so if this entire game, this bishop is just sort of staring at that space. I don't know why that was a mistake. I was making a pawn chain here. So, again, that's putting pressure on this knight. But then again, the knight could have just taken it. Which is why I didn't move it there. Because, again, it could have taken the knight. But the knight could have taken it. And then where would I be? Oh, whoa, what the fuck? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? This. Okay, so... So when did I move this knight? I want to see. So... Then it was that. I moved the knight then. As soon as I moved the knight, I realized that it was checkmate. Ah, so I got that on the earliest I could. Oh, damn. That was a rough game for Karim. I fucking destroyed him. Oh, God, I feel bad. Okay. Yeah, there was just this one moment right here where they gained an advantage when I pushed a pawn forward. Because they could have taken that bishop and then they just didn't. But yeah, then from then on, because I didn't take it, then I destroyed them. So yeah, interesting, very interesting, very interesting. Yeah, so that was a fast checkmate. That was real fast. Fuck me. Moon 1, 2, 3. Yeah, sure, I'll happily play with you for one. I can put the bots up for a day and we can go against an actual person if you're up for it. That is fine by me. I'll let you decide if you want it to be 10-minute or 30-minute. If it's 10-minute though, I just won't be narrating as much as I am. I'll just be moving, I think, normally. Okay. Here we are. Okay. So I'm first. Right. Interesting. Okay. Okay then. I will move which one? Alright, okay. Okay, so I'm almost tempted to not really talk my tactics that much on stream. Just in case they are still watching. But I do have a couple of ideas of what I could do here. So this will be more of a game of you guys watching, just seeing what I do. Okay, that's an aggressive bishop attack. Just pinning my pawn to my bishop, I see. That's a decent move. Move here. Let's see what they do. Alright. There we are. Queen or rook? Which one do you want? Oh, I just realised I'm also looking at the bishop as well. Yeah, realistically, they're going to move their queen. They're probably going to move it there as well, if I had to guess. Yeah, that rook is stuck. Oh! Hey! Oh, that was... Oh, I don't think he should have resigned, though. I think he should have kept going. Ah, but that was... But yeah... Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself, man. Yeah. That was just... That's a play I've always wanted to make. I just happened to see an opportunity for it. But yeah... That bishop move was very interesting. I liked that bishop move. Okay, I see. Going with a classic d4. Alright then. d4 opening. Ah, you're pre-moving. Okay. Let's see then. Got a couple of ideas again. Oh, that's a voice crack. But I have a couple ideas. And I can see you're about to castle, so I'm not going to let that happen. Yep, that's to be expected. Even so, I'm still going to keep pressure on that area right there. Interesting, they didn't put pressure. I'll castle too then. Interesting. Alright, let's see here. So, I could realistically go here, put pressure on this pawn here and this pawn here. Ooh, that gives me an idea, actually. Alright guys, I think I have a interesting idea of what I could do here. Oh, really? You're gonna do that? Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, I'm not offended. That's fine. Okay, I'll instead do this then. What an interesting situation we have here. I wasn't expecting a pawn move like that. I guess he saw what I was doing. Or at least I imagine you did. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, there's a couple different moves I could make here. Interesting choice. Interesting choice indeed. There is a lot protecting that pawn. A lot, a lot, a lot. And there's also not a whole lot that I can do, because I have two pieces that can attack it, but they have two pieces defending it. So at the end of the day, I'm going to lose material. So I may have just lost a pawn, but I'm not losing anything else. So I can only really retreat my knight to here, because this has now become an unsafe square. Now this square is just heavily protected by this bishop and this knight. Fuck. Oh, I'll take the bishop. But, that's annoying. That is an annoying trade. So they're up a pawn. Yeah, there wasn't really a safe space for my knight to go. That was a good cornering right there. Realistically, I should have just backed up my knight and then just taken that bishop as opposed to playing a risky attack. But yeah, that checkmate I had in mind isn't going to work now. Unless... it could still happen. That's moved forward now? Obviously it's coming for this, so... I'll happily take that trade. Let's see, go forward here. I wasn't paying attention to that. That is irritating. Okay, so... I need to get rid of you. You're really annoying. So, I'll push a pawn forward. Ideally. That needs to go. Getting rid of a release to do that. Huh. Okay, okay. Actually, I kind of want us to do that, but... So we'll see. Yeah, they're not enough. Are they going to take the L? That's the question, isn't it? Because obviously they don't take it, I could push up. Alright, they're taking it. Which means that this is almost inevitable right here. It'll annoy my plans for checkmates, but it should place me at an advantage, so it shouldn't matter. That is an annoying move. In fact, that may have actually been helpful. Because this horse didn't move, and my horse didn't die, my plans for checkmate could still happen. That's good. All I need is to get to there. Basically, is all I need to do. And because this has happened, and this is annoying actually, I originally had a plan to go up here and take these two pieces, but I can't because that pawn's in the way. Which is sad, but... what I could do, actually, now I'm looking at this, This pawn, this is now pinned to my king. I can't do anything. What to do now is the question on absolutely everyone's mind. So I could realistically push up. Well, I guess I could realistically push up and take that bishop, but then the rook will take me, obviously. I could pull a bishop out here and put pressure on this queen. Have my rook protect it, which means the queen will either have to take it, which will sacrifice it, or it has to retreat. I'll do that. It also develops my bishop as well. And it also unpins my knight as well. That's cool. That's fine. So, best move here is to move my queen here, which protects the bishop, and then I can free my knight. And now, I'll offer a trade of queens. I'm down a piece of material, but this is my best bet at this point. Because if I use my rook, obviously I wouldn't be able to threaten the queen. But if I use my queen, then the queen is forced to make a move. I also see that I could easily make a rook standoff as well if I move my a rook to d8, which means we'll have two rooks. Which means that if any of these rooks move, one of them will die. So that means all the rooks will essentially be out of the game. Yeah, now comes the difficult bit, doesn't it? Interesting maneuver! Very interesting indeed! What an interesting tactic you have chosen to play. They could absolutely now just wipe out my pawns here, but I'm going for their knight instead. Clippity cloppity. What do you want? Would you rather have a pawn or a knight? Well, actually, realistically, the queen can only take this pawn because this pawn's protected by my rook. Yep. It was the only one that made sense, but now my pawn is also out of being doubled and I can push it forward a bit further. Hell yeah. So, the only downside now is I can't do my checkmate strategy, which now I can now explain, because I was going to get my knight here and I was going to push my queen to this position. Oh, I see, that's a sneaky maneuver. Okay, because you now also pinned my queen, but at the same time, you won't take my queen, because it will be a trade, and you know that. So, what I think I'll do instead is I will instead move my rook to here. Oh, I'm glad you didn't realise I fucked myself a bit there. Oh, that could have been dangerous. If you had taken my queen, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Because then you could even take my rook. If I'd taken that rook, you would have taken my rook. Or if I take your queen, then you would have taken my rook. So I'm glad that you didn't take me. Thank you for that. But what I will now do is block you again. And obviously they could try and do it again. But this time I have a couple different strategies up my sleeve, including pushing pawns forward and blocking with rooks instead of blocking with queens. Interesting. A queen trade. Okay, I'm down for a queen trade. You're still up, and you're still up what looks to... What are you up? You're up 3 pawns. Okay. Well, you're up a whole piece. That's annoying. Otherwise, we have a pretty even Stevens game here. So, ideally what I would want to do is move this like that. Or push a pawn forward. Realistically, I could get to that before they do. Okay, the king is retreating. So considering this is now a rook game, I'm going to start trying to do that. Okay, they're going to try and push a pawn forward. Makes sense. I think they've now realised what I've done. For my next move, I take this, and they take that. I take this, I take 2 rooks, they take 1. The only way for them to get their rooks is to move it, and give up the d-file. But the only downside for that, the big downside for that is now their rooks will control nothing, because this rook will control this, and this rook will then control this, or this. This is the best case scenario, they'll control this bit here. But they horizontally will only control this, and they will... Ah, very interesting indeed. But yeah, I think what I shall do now is I shall do a very aggressive attack on that back line, which means this pawn is now in my sight. And as you can see here, they've now protected this pawn, which is understandable. But what I instead do is I will go for this pawn here instead, because this is not protected. And I also now, this pawn is now no longer protected as well. And this king has now decided to come out. So what I instead am going to do is I'm going to take this file here, which is much more valuable, because if I now move this rook out of the way, I now have trapped him in the FGH files. So I'll happily give up a center file if it means trapping the king. Because now what I can do is I can pull my rook back slightly, put him in check, and now he has to move. Like that. And so, if I... because now, obviously, my rook is in danger because this pawn can take it. So what I'm instead going to do is pull back a little bit, and I'm just going to keep threatening... So obviously these 2 pawns are protected by rooks, which is bad. But if we take one of those rooks out of the game, it won't be anymore. But the thing is, obviously, we need a rook to screw up. So ideally what we want to take is this boy here, but I can't really do that in my current predicament. So the best thing to do is to push a rook up, I think. Which is now box the king into this area right here. Because again, a pawn could take this rook, and then I could take the pawn, but that's obviously not a good... There you go. I wanted to see if they were still watching the stream and if I could bluff my way out of that, but no, apparently not. But yeah, still the king is blocked in, and this guy's going for a runner, so I'm going to simply go here. Which obviously will mean that he's obviously going to protect this space. So I have a choice of things to do here, because I'm at a very severe disadvantage. So I'm instead going to stand here and stop it, so it can't move anymore. So now that pawn can't run anymore. So obviously now you're going to run down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push you for... No, I'm not going to do that. That's a bad idea. I'm not going to do that. What I will do instead... Actually, would it be a bad idea to do that? If I push this forward here and then push this forward here and I take that... It will stop them from forward, because then if I take that pawn and then they take this one and then they move down one, I can just take it with this pawn. But then this rook gets a little full line of sight. So I will leave it as it is for now. And instead I will... Pushing with that is not really an option. There's really not... I am in a very serious predicament here. I need to get rid of this pawn before I can do anything realistically. These 2 rooks are protecting this entire back file here. This back row here. Okay, so they just pushed that down one, which is what I was expecting. And realistically, they're going to push it down again, and then I can take it. If I push this up one, what will then happen is this pawn will take it. Clearly, the pawn will take it. And I don't want that to happen. The only way really to avoid that is to take the pawn, but that means I lose a rook. And the only way to protect that is to move my king, which is stopping this from getting to the end. So my best... I don't really have a good move here I can make, outside of just stopping them from getting any further. I just have to sort of hope that they fuck up. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of good moves here I can make. So, the best thing to do is probably just to move this back one, just to prevent it at least from moving forward. Yeah, because now he can escape, and now he can come for me. But he can't take that rook, because the pawn's protecting it. So... there's really not a lot I can do here. I can only move this pawn forward, move the king. I can move the king back. I'll do that. Obviously, this is going to push this forward. So. Really? Oh, really? That's a That's not a good one. Now, obviously, he can still get to me. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, now the rook's just blocking it. Yeah, okay, so now we're all standing here now. But yeah, so moving this forward would mean that they can take it, so... I only really have one... Oh, I don't really have any options, to be honest. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I have very few options I can do here. So the only thing I can really do is push towards the rook, or I can push one of these up. Like that. Interesting choice. A very interesting choice indeed. So that now means I can... Oh, wait, one sec. So now what I can do is... Yeah, run out of time. But yeah, that was a solid game. That was... Yeah, I had no idea what to do at that point. Anything I did played into your hand. But yeah, that was a good game. I'm gonna have to go on a break for a minute, so I can't play another round. But I will be. But actually, no. I think I'll probably end the stream there for today. I think that's a good place to end off. But yeah, that was definitely a fun game. I appreciated it. So I shall pull this over to here. Nope, not that one. That's the one I wanted. I just realised I never turned down the audio. Oops-a-daisy. There we go. Let's turn that down a little bit. All right, there. So thanks for watching. I enjoyed playing the games of chess. Thanks to Moon for coming along to play. I appreciate it. You take care as well yourself, Moon. I'll probably be playing a lot more chess because it's honestly just a very fun game. So whenever I boot up chess, I'll probably start streaming. It'll be a lot more casual. But yeah, so if anyone here plays a lot of chess, I hope you don't find my moves incredibly cringeworthy. Like I say, I'm doing this to learn. I'm going through the bots just to sort of get my game up a little bit. And I played against Moon here just because there's not a bit of an on-the-spot thing. I really don't care about my rating right now, just because as it currently stands, I just want to learn the game. So I'll worry about that at a later date. But yeah, so I thank you all for tuning into the stream, and I will probably be streaming again somewhere soon. I don't know, but yeah, take care.